All right. Well, we're coming off of a tough loss at Central Florida where we didn't play well, didn't shoot well. So we've got to regroup and get ready for a Tulsa team. I know they had a tough time against a very good SMU team, so we've got to do some things. And they beat us at their place. Tulsa did last time. It was a game where we got back in it. We just, probably turned the ball over and did some things down the stretch to cost us a game. A lot of it had to do with Tulsa's a pretty talented team, a pretty solid ball club, and they can beat you a few ways. And most important, Junior Ito, who kind of put it on us pretty good along with their point guard. So we just had a tough time out there. So, any questions?
What can you take from that first game and roll over to this game?
Well, I just think execution was execution was pretty poor down the stretch. That's one thing. We really fought back in it. Just gave up too many easy baskets. That's been a problem for us defensively. But we just those are the things we tried to address and really having some pride in our defense and not letting people drive us to the basket on a regular basis. I thought that's what I got from that game. The turnovers and the bad decisions and the lack of defense, poor defense.
When you mention the defense, is it effort or is it maybe carrying offensive struggles back to the defensive end? How do you fix that?
Well, you work at it, number one. You get in, you go back to the fundamentals and try to work on the fundamentals of why you're getting beat. So it's usually technique and desire. How determined are you to want to stay in your stance, pressure ball, you can play defense when you can't do anything else. So that's what you need to learn to do.
Have you gotten a response from this team over the past couple of days that you were looking for after, probably one of their...
Yeah, we'll see. It's, I talked about leadership before. It's something that we hope we can get, and that's leading by example on and off the basketball court. And that's something you have to have. You're going to be a good team. Not that we don't have it, just need to, guys need to be, I guess, given the opportunity to step up and be a leader. But sometimes it takes the whole group. It takes just coaches to be leaders. So that's what we have to do. We'll have to do it.
Has Crawford hit a wall, or he just had to go back in?
He's missing shots. He's under a slump. He has to be more engaged in other areas. When you're not scoring, we need to defend and rebound. And you're not doing the other things. Defend, rebound, pass the ball, screen. There's a lot of things basketball and scoring. That's areas you need to get better at, just like the rest of it.
Coach, how crucial is it that the team kind of is ready to show at the opening tip? I know they've responded well at times when they've fallen into big holes early, but obviously it's a lot harder when you have to dig yourself out of that early hole, right?
Yeah, well, we know. But every time I tell them this, fellas, the most insignificant score in sports is the halftime score. It's an example of last night in the Super Bowl. So, you can't quit. And we made good runs, even though we got behind, even in Central Florida. We dug ourselves a hole with 13-0. Taking bad shots, that's the other thing we've done. So that's a lack of mental concentration. Maybe it is fatigue that's making you mentally fatigued. Maybe this is minutes catching up with a guy, but what are you going to do? Quit? You got to suck it up and play harder and play better and do the other things that will take the place of that. And that's being more patient offensively. And those are things that hurt us in the last game. The shot selection was horrible, and our lack of intensity at the defensive end, and that's a formula for a loss.
Update on Chad?
He's running out there. He did some things. He's doing some sliding, but he hasn't practiced yet. So that's about where it is.
Dietrich is 5 points from reaching 1,000 for his career. I know you weren't here last year, but for a guy to do that in less than 2 years, how impressive is that? Have you had someone like that over during your
I
career?
don't think so. He's been pretty impressive. You know, he knows how to score. He's in a lot of different categories, not just that. He's rebounding, he's passing, he's you know, just a little bit of everything. He does a few things, block shots. He's been the glue, and he's been the most consistent player we've had. I guess I know here for the last 2 years. I would imagine. He was that way last year, and he certainly was that way for us this year. So yeah, that's impressive. And I commend him. You know, we need every point he's gotten. We needed every one of them this year.
You mentioned, Jamario said a lot of defensive work. Is there anything in particular, you mentioned screens or pick and rolls, about what would you say are the issues for you guys defensively in terms of giving up those easy baskets you were talking about?
That's part of it. You know, we seem to run in every screen that our opponent set. We haven't done a good job of communicating, telling the guy the screen's here. And yeah, that's just partially our fault, because you know, you get going in the season, and those things are the things that you have to constantly remind players of. You have to constantly practice talking and communicating. I think that's basically what it's been. You know, we've tried to do a few things on screens. You know, people down the screens, or what they call ice it, force the guy towards baseline. We've tried hedging. But you know, this day, basketball today, that's what it's all about. Pick and rolls. They find an angle, or they rub you off somebody, and they. You know, so there comes, and then it's imperative that your proper stance and positioning, which has been our biggest problem. It's not so much what's happening at the pick and roll. It's that we've been horrible one-on-one defensively. So, you know, if I'm not going to get screened, don't get screened, fellas. Don't allow yourself to be screened. And so that's we have a tendency to put our hands up and try to get around instead of stepping over the screen and being more aggressive and being more physical, getting over the screen. So again, that's a maturation period and a strength and you know, experience. And we just need to be more physical, and we're not the most physical team. So I know that. That's things we have to live with.
Coach, you've seen it all in the world of college basketball. Is it normal
I haven't, but I've seen a lot.
Is it normal for most teams to go through a rough patch at this point in the season, or is this something that is surprising you a little bit?
No, it's not surprising. Every team goes through it. I don't care who you are. I'm sure Bill Self was being asked the same questions. I mean, it's part of basketball, part of sports. But that's what it is. That's why you play the game, because you want to measure yourself every time out there. You want to be competitive. And your opponents have a lot to do with it too. They've got pride, they're tough, and they're physical. So it's a matter of will. As I said before, how determined you are, and how much desire do you have to do your job. And that's not easy when you're distracted. By that I mean other things outside. So you have to in sports especially. Or anything, you're going to be successful. You can't listen to the noise outside, or people patting you on the back, even when you're up, when you're down. You got to have moderation. That's what my dad used to tell me. And some people, John wouldn't call it balance. He said moderation, son, in everything you do. You're going to do something, don't go to the extremes. One way or the other, because you're going to have highs and lows. And it's going to create peaks and valleys that you can't open, that are going to put you in a bad pattern in life and in sports. So those are things that happen. And guys, you win a few games in a row, you think you've arrived? No, you never arrive. So that's the thing you have to worry about.
Does this feel like an important moment, not necessarily for winning or losing, but for imprinting what you want, how you want these guys to approach a season in basketball, like putting your stamp a little bit on?
Well, every moment, we're consistent every practice. We're going to come bring in every practice. I mean, some are going to be more intense than the others, but basically we're going to teach the fundamentals the same way. We'll make guys sprint back in defense the same way. We're not going to let them loaf. We're not going to put, even in that, you'll get caught up in the coach thinking you've arrived too. You're thinking that, oh, we're learning something, we're getting better. But there's always that game slippage and season slippage. So we have to really, every sporting team, every coach, every player has to go through that and learn how they continue to keep themselves up, keep themselves motivated. So, again, guys, I'm so proud of how hard they work. They work pretty hard, and we play some guys so many minutes. It's just tough. So, I'm the first guy to reason, the rationale, and say, look, this is. But now I got to still get them. We still got to play. Still have to practice.
All right,
Anything else?
Coach.